All right, Kim and I were about to have a discussion that was so good, at least in my mind, that I wanted to bring you along with us, if that's okay. Because I know this is something that we need, or I need, I'll just speak for myself, but, and I know our family needs this as well, and maybe you do too. If you're building a business, I believe everybody needs this. And how do I know this, right? By the way, my name is Tom Challan.
Hi, I'm Kim.
And we are sitting by the fire. Well, she was sitting by the fire working here on this beautiful rainy day. Good to see you, Stephanie. And I watched a video that solidified. In fact, I feel like it was a God thing because I got two extremely clear messages in my learning today. Two extreme messages that really changed the paradigm of what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I believe from a discipline level, this can change your life as well. So if you have a 10 out of 10 discipline level and you know you've got the absolute maximum discipline level, click off this video right now. It's not for you. If you're not achieving everything that you know that you can and should be in the time that you can do it, whether it comes to physical ability, your health, your business, or any area of your life, then this video might be for you, because there are moments in my life when it comes to discipline where I was as close to a 10 out of 10 as possible. And I'll give you one example that when many of you have heard the story where I went on this downward spiral of personal growth, started getting entitled, my ego was flaring, I thought I was somebody, I made a lot of money in building teams for years, and then I just slowly stopped growing. And you've heard, if you're not growing, you truly are dying. And it sometimes can take anywhere from a year of slowly dying to as many as 7 years before you even realize, you even catch yourself that you were dying. And that's what happened to us. And that's when we had that mark. It was about 2-3 years into it where I was kind of going down, but I didn't know it. Going down financially, going down spiritually, going down personal growth, going down in our business, of course, going down in our finances because we were trying to ride on the past success and not the future success. Wow, honey, how do you work next to this fireplace? Jiminy Christmas.
Well, it's getting hot now
so,
with that light on.
So we were going on this downward spiral, and that was the moment where we had Christmas gifts delivered at our family's home. We had presents for my kids delivered because we were going broke. We were losing everything. We had both of our cars repossessed before my family's eyes 2 days before Christmas, many years back. And the one thing that changed my life, though, that brought my discipline level extremely high, is at the age of 31 years old, I went door knocking for a living. And I went from owning 2 network marketing companies, building big teams, being a top enroller in my company, having huge success, multiple 6 figures, to losing everything and then literally door knocking for an entire year. That year I was door knocking every single day. And what finally broke after praying after every single door, what finally broke after praying for every person and breaking the self-entitlement, just getting my ego just crushed, especially when people recognized me when I door knocked them. Hey, Tom Challan, weren't you my leader in my last company? Yeah, I was. I'm just aerating lawns now, right? Even though I still made $300 to $500 a day doing it, but it wasn't near the credibility or income that we were accustomed to. So the one thing, and the video that changed my life today was so impactful because it's the perfect timing in my life. It wasn't that, it's a perfect timing, and maybe you need to hear this as well, that at that moment, at that exact moment when my car was repossessed and I was door knocking every day, I said, that is it. And that was the moment that I went back involved in network marketing, but I did something that I never knew was even physically possible, which is to do 100% my highest level of discipline. And I had a very competitive advantage. Do you know what that competitive advantage was? It's the door knocking. It was the door knocking. You look really good on camera, honey. It was the door knocking that built that muscle back, that extreme, like, oh my gosh, what you thought was impossible became very possible, of having to go through hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of, hey, sorry, I'm just in the neighborhood, my crew's coming around right now, and we can help your lawn look like someone painted it green, like someone like a paintbrush. Anyways, I lost my pitch. It's been a while. But I did that every day, all day, every day, all day. And when I got back in network marketing, it was very simple to get back prospecting like I've never prospected in my entire life. And then I realized, and that's how I sponsored 500 people. That's how I built a team of 40,000 people. But you know what? That's been the past. And I just recognized I went through another 7 years, became the #1 earner, became a superstar in the industry, right? Created record-breaking type of success. And then I slowly realized entitlement came back a little bit. Growth went down a little bit over the years. Disbelief went down a little bit more every single year. My work ethic went down a little bit more every single year. And I see this pattern. And one of the things, so I'll tell you what the thing that changed my life was. There was a gentleman that, even the Navy SEALs is the pinnacle of hard, in my opinion. I don't know if you know of anything harder in life than, besides raising kids and having birth. One of the hardest things to do in the world is becoming a Navy SEAL. And go on the Discovery Channel or YouTube and type in Navy SEALs Hell Week. And just think about the pain, man or woman, just think about the pain that those humans go through. But I heard a really interesting statistic from a Navy SEAL that when they're done with Navy SEAL boot camp, even some of the Navy SEALs, yes, they still work out, yes, they're strong, and they have a very long memory of that extreme discipline that was implanted in their brain and their heart and also their physical muscles. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, but what happens even with some of the Navy SEALs is they slowly start not working out as hard as they did in that 2 weeks. Of course, their mind isn't pushed to the ability that it possibly could be continuously when they're in the military, carrying over, especially when they get a job or another career or another business. They don't have that same level of peak discipline. Now, the cool thing about businesses, you don't have to be at that level of a Navy SEAL. But what in life are you growing? Are you treating your day doing the most uncomfortable things first, or doing the highest priority, even if it's boring, even if it's tough, even if you don't like to prospect, even if you don't like to connect with family or friends, even if you don't like to refer people to presentations, even if you don't like to make people feel uncomfortable by applying a little bit of pressure when you're asking for their business. It's hard to move people. It's hard to move us. But so what level, the question of the day is, what level of discipline are you really? Again, if you're at a 10, then even if you're at a 1, if you're at a 2 skill level for building teams, but you're at a 10 discipline level, do you understand that you should be still enrolling 2 to 4 people a month in your business? If you have an extreme focus of discipline, hopefully you can get your skill up to a 10, your discipline up to a 10. If you did that, if any one of you did that, I believe you'd be the #1 earner in your company. You'd for sure be the most productive enroller in your company, or for sure in the top 10, maybe even 1%. Because I know hardly anybody that works at home, especially when they're sitting next to the fireplace, especially when they get to a certain rank level, you get comfortable. Chris G is on the phone.
Hey, Chris.
I'm not going to ask Chris G because, look, he's making $500,000 a year. But I know making $1 million plus a year, we get very comfortable. Everybody thinks you're going to be motivated when you make $1 million a year or $500,000 a year. You don't. We've been there. You're only disciplined if you continually treat every day, I don't want to say like it's hell week, but you got to keep some form of extreme discipline going in the gym, in your work, in your prospecting. It's got to become a machine. And the crazy part about life, I promise you this one thing. I promise you this. It's 1,000 times less painful, 1,000 times more simple, and 1,000 times more rewarding by just doing the thing that you think about, but you're waiting for a perfect system. Do the thing that you know you can do today and not get off on a sidetrack of, well, I got to pay the bills now. Well, I got to clean the kitchen now. Well, I've got to go create a blog. No, you don't. You need to find a way. You need to find a way to do the most important core thing first and then learn the leverage as you go.
So what are some tools? Like, I love, Chris, what you're saying. Getting comfortable is dangerous, and wow, like that's a big ouch, because our human nature tends to always want to get into that comfort zone. So what are some systems, some tools, some resources? What can you put in place?
Gosh, okay, so let me give you some
so
examples.
That you can...
One of them is, let us know if you want to, we don't know what we're going to call it yet. Josh, this is perfect, man. We don't know what Kim and I are going to call it yet, but we believe that most people that build home businesses need they need a hell week like Navy SEALs. So we're creating one in San Diego. It's going to be about a week long, where you come to San Diego and again, if you don't do this with us, but it's going to be not a mastermind where we sit around next to a pool in $1 million home. I'm not going to do that. It's going to be literally like a hell week where you see me prospecting at my absolute best ability. You see me connecting with names and numbers. You see everybody around you setting a goal for the day, prospecting on Facebook, prospecting more market, getting referrals. Do you understand, if you have 10 friends in this world, those 10 should turn into 100? Well, I don't know what to say. That's an excuse. Well, I just feel uncomfortable. That's right. You got to learn that you got to push past all those thoughts. Anyways, I'm not going to get too deep in training. But the tool to get at your highest discipline level is to go create an environment, preferably with a team. I mean, I don't know how you can do it alone. You need someone who's at an extremely high level, and unfortunately, there's not a lot of people with that kind of frame of reference. I know there's been times where I'm not even in that zone, for sure, and I know what it looks like, smells like, feels like to be in that kind of a zone. So we're going to create a boot camp where for 1 week you come here and get reprogrammed to find out what can you really do. So that's one thing. That's one thing to do. Another thing to do is our accountability program. Just if you want to be on the interest list, just put it below. But you need to find a tribe. You need to find people who know what it looks like and smells like and sounds like and feels like to be at your best. Because most people, to be really clear of doing this for so many years, even millionaires that you work with in network marketing, they might have went through a small push to get into $1 million a year. Small push for maybe 6 months, a year, maybe 2 years. And sometimes you work with a multimillionaire. Many good friends of mine, man, they're soft now. It's okay. They've made their millions. That's fine. I'm not condoning them, but it doesn't mean that you're going to get their same discipline level. Doesn't mean you're going to get that same discipline level by working with that multimillionaire. Unless you're like Chris G or a Josh Valentine. Josh Valentine, Chris G are millionaires. They've made millions and millions of dollars. I know personally, especially Josh Valentine, one of the most disciplined, more disciplined than me, focused individuals I've ever met. So you got to get yourself around people that don't just know what to do or have done it in the past, but are in that motion with you and that know how to call you out, and you've got to be able to take it.
Like a mentor, an accountability coach. Josh, Chris, what are some things you guys do to stay in your zone every day?
Yes. Oh, that's good. What do you do? If you're on here and you're watching the replay.
You're so funny, Chris. He always has these things.
No. So he's tagging someone that needs to hear this.
No, I don't think so. Oh, Holly.
Yeah.
I thought you were...
No. So, hey, if you... what do you do to get out of... What do you think you need to do to get in the highest level of discipline of your life? And maybe tell me this, if you're open to giving me, I don't care if it's a book, go ahead and write a book, meaning as much as you can. How much, so A, what do you need to get in a comfort zone? Oh, and I forgot the B because Kim was off on that one thing.
Blame it on me.
I'm blaming, that's my excuse right now. All right, hey, so what level of discipline are you? At the very least, tell me, just curious. And do you have enough hunger, desire to go and get yourself to the highest level of discipline again? Because if you do that, it'll look like everybody in our industry and in your company, it'll make it look like everybody's standing still, like they're in slow motion. You're going to hear a bunch of people talking about working, creating their blog, creating their attraction marketing, creating their funnels, creating their Facebook, creating, but you're going to find very few people that are actually doing. It's crazy. That's why, anyways, I don't want to keep going on. So let me know if you pop by in the replay. Good to see some of the powerful leaders that popped on here while we were alive. Good to see you, Chris.
Thanks for tuning in.
God bless.
Bye.